Well, apparently I woke up one morning and the drugstore, namely Maybelline, had launched a ton of products. I literally logged on to Ulta and I was like, what's going on? They had launched a Lifter Plump and Glow foundation and concealer. They had launched a new lipstick line. They also have, I got a couple of mascaras, one from Maybelline and then one, the Telescopic Extentionist Mascara. Maybelline has a new like cream shadow that looks good. A couple things from Morphe. Maybelline also launched this Cloudtopia like squishy blush and a couple more things. Like we've got a lot to try. So I'm really excited to try this on with you guys. So I have 2 shades of the Maybelline. I think I'm gonna mix them. I was kind of swatching them on my face trying to get an idea. But before I do that, we also have this product from Covergirl to try. This is their luminous, like kind of primer. It's called their Skin Enhancer Luminizer. So I got it in the shade 50 Jelly Opal Glow. And actually before we do that, let's throw on a lip balm. This is, I just like the look of this. This is Covergirl's Squishy Glaze. This is like a, peach gummies is the scent. This is their lip butter balm. Every brand's got one. We all love them. Let's try this one out. Oh my gosh, it smells exactly like those peach rings. You know what I'm talking about, the gummy rings. Spot on. That is the most accurate naming of a scent. Feels nice. I mean, it's kind of a clear gloss, but I feel like when you're getting a clear gloss, you want one that's comfy. Like, I mean, a clear glossy balm. I feel like you want one that's comfy, but you probably also want one that is a smell you like. So if you were into the smell of peach, you would be a big fan of this. This smells incredible. Oh my gosh. All right, now that the lips aren't quite as dry, let's try this out. So I love a luminous primer. I feel like a lot of times they can actually be a beautiful layer underneath foundation, especially when you can see a little bit of that glow from underneath. It really is more of like a gel texture, slightly creamy, but definitely a little more like a hybrid gel cream. But that means it's really thin, and so it spreads really easily. But this has got some serious, like, is it even technically shimmer? It's hard to tell. I feel like it's like a finely milled shimmer. I'm not seeing any like straight up sparkle though, but it's definitely like a pearlescence to it. I'm not gonna put it on my nose just because I feel like my nose doesn't tend to like that when I try to put foundation on top. So we're gonna see if this shines through underneath that foundation we're gonna try, but wow, definitely glowy. And I have to say, this is a different texture of a product. It is a different product than like the L'Oreal Lumi Glow, which I love, but that one's definitely more creamy. The e.l.f. Halo Glow with the big doe foot, I love that too. That one almost has a little bit of coverage to it though, so just kind of interesting. But yeah, I would say this is the closest to the Say Glowy Super Gel that I really like. This is a similar texture to that, so I'll have to test it out. Undoubtedly, I've got a dupes video coming up probably in January. I will test this one out with that side by side for sure. I'm gonna add that to my list to test it before I forget. I don't wanna forget about it. So these are the 2 shades I grabbed in the Lifter Plump and Glow foundation from Maybelline, 102 and 112. One is slightly too light, one is slightly too dark. I kind of was I blended them both onto the cheek separately. They both worked for me, but I feel like if I mix them, it'd be perfect. So if you're my shade twin, we're just gonna see how this looks. And also how the formula performs. So that's 102 and that's 112 for anyone curious. 112 definitely has, I mean, it's just a little bit deeper. So I'm gonna mix these. I'm not sure that this is gonna be, no, I feel like that should look pretty good, right? I feel like it's a pretty good shade match. But you hate to have to mix, you know? Yeah, you know how it is. Finding shade matches, come on. See what the coverage level is. Obviously meant to be glowy and I mean maybe plumping, but you know, I feel like anytime I see that word, especially when it comes to like your just straight up skin, I take that word with a grain of salt, but I understand what they mean, and it's gonna look maybe more youthful. I feel like the word of the year, the past few years should be the word plump. Like that is, it is everywhere. Okay, I feel like shade match wise, that's pretty good. It's not perfect. I'm like a little more yellow almost, but one pass, it's got maybe medium cover, like max medium. Let's see if we can layer. I might need to put a little more on. See if we can layer a little bit more. And this time I'll do it with a brush too, just to kind of get an idea. I always mention this brush, but if you are in need of like the best foundation brush I've ever tried in all 12 years of doing this, it's this one. The 101 brush. I usually have a discount code with them. I'll see if I do, I'll put it below, but there's always a sale going on. You can always save a little bit of money and it is incredible. Oh yeah, that definitely gave more coverage. So definitely layerable. You're always gonna have a little more coverage when you use a brush especially if you have a fabulous brush. I don't hate the way it looks. I like it. The glow from that primer underneath, I feel like is not, I think you can still see it, like just that little bit, which again, that's what I want. So the skin is looking, I think, pretty healthy. Still got a little bit of glow to it. Let's keep moving on and we'll see how it looks at the end. And as always, I will put wear notes down in the description box below. That way, if you're curious, like, okay, how did the foundation, concealer, etc. look at the end of the day, I will definitely type some stuff out down there for you. So next up, this is Maybelline's Lifter Concealer. So same line. I have the shade 25. This says it's their full coverage serum concealer. We are gonna see. The doe foot is interesting. It looks like a real doe foot. It's a little bit shorter, just slightly different. Not in a meaningful way where it would like affect how you apply it, but it's just always interesting when brands are trying something different. I like it. It's definitely looking like it's got some pretty good coverage. Ooh, wow. We are looking bright, bright baby under there. Sometimes I feel like a serum concealer can be a really thin consistency. This one is not. This one definitely has a creamier, do I want to say thicker consistency? Kinda. I don't know how well you can kind of see, but it's a consistency I actually like. I feel like I have a little bit more control over blending it in. Sometimes a really thin serum concealer can maybe look nice, but sometimes it's not enough coverage for what I want. And it's just so sheer. I don't know. So I will let you know about this one. We're definitely going to set it. I feel like I'm already noticing sinking into fine lines, which I mean, literally every concealer does. That's okay. It just is what it is. But I did get a brow product, but it's a clear brow gel. This is from Morphe. It's their clear brow gel. They call it their micro manager. But first I'm going to throw a little bit of color into the brows, just a little bit. I feel like a good clear brow gel for what you personally want sometimes can be hard to find. Sometimes the clear brow gels just kind of brush things into place at first, but then they don't really hold, or they're so crunchy that you're like, that might not be what you're wanting. So finding something kind of in the middle, I feel like can be kind of hard. So we're gonna try this out. I haven't had a good new clear brow gel in a while, so I'm excited to give this a try. Whatever Morphe did in this, I don't know if it's technically a rebrand or what, they've launched some things I am really loving. So I've got a couple things to try from them because I'm like, I had good experience recently. This is what it looks like. It looks really pretty. Ooh, teeny tiny. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it's so tiny, you guys. Oh my. It's like whatever you're picturing, it's even smaller. Like I think of all the tinted brow gels I use with their teeny things, this is way smaller. But I kind of love it because you can really get in there and like, boy, I got a lot of that gel on this side. Definitely a little bit wet, so it'll probably take a minute to dry. We'll see if it feels crunchy here in a few minutes. Okay, I really want to try this Maybelline Shadow Drip. This is like a liquid eyeshadow. I picked out the shade number 10 Amethyst Drip. We may need to pair this with some actual shadow. We're gonna find out. Let's just see what it looks like. Oh, very purple. Okay, maybe more purple than I intended. We can still work that out. Let me see what it looks like. I feel like this is gonna end up being pretty as like when you like tap it on top of something. I don't know how well you can see that. So I think we'll try it a couple ways. So first, let me do a little bit of something on the eyes just to kind of anchor this, you know what I mean? Got the Naked palette here. Also, don't sleep on e.l.f.'s, their fluffy eye blender brush. This is one of my go-tos for years and years. It's such a great eyeshadow brush for everything. Like literally it works. I mean, not for every part of your eye, but the way I do my eyeshadow, it does, but you know what I mean? I just think they're really good. So I'm gonna do just like a little something in the crease just because I feel like I want that. I have had a lot happening in my personal life the past few weeks. I am filming a like chit chat, let's catch up video very soon. You will see that here. I'm trying to think if that video would be next after this. It's very soon. So stay tuned. I've got a lot to update you guys on. I feel like this is not the video I feel like sharing out, but yeah, definitely things going on. So, all right, let's do, I'm gonna take like a little bit of like a white pearly shadow to put on the lid, and then I'm gonna tap this cream shadow on top because I think that's how it's gonna perform best. And that tends to be how I use the Stila Glimmer and Glow and the Glitter and Glows, or maybe Shimmer and Glow. They have a couple. That's one of my favorite glittery eye products because it's kind of like this where it's suspended in a liquid so you don't have fallout, But the way I apply it is the same way I'm gonna do this, where I just have it on my finger and then I just tap it on. I think that's the easiest versus going straight in. Now, if you're trying to go for a really high impact look, maybe that's exactly what you wanna do, but you can really get a lot going on. I don't know how well it's translating. It's definitely purpley. I don't know that I love this on me. I feel like it's kind of, do you see what's going on? Like where there's like a bunch gathered here, but it's not over there. Let me try applying more over here and see if it's also kind of burning. And I don't mean in my eye, like it's burning on my eyelid. I might take this off. I don't like that. Anything that's making my eye burn, it's just not worth it. And I couldn't tell you the last time I tried something on my eyelid and it made my eyelid burn. So I'm gonna wipe that off. Because if it's burning within 1 minute, it's just not worth it. So if you, I was gonna say, I don't have sensitive skin, I feel like on my eyes as a general rule. Because I was gonna say, if you have sensitive skin, maybe avoid this, but I wouldn't say that I really do on my face, and this is bothering me. So I would say maybe just stay away from this product, everyone. I'm not a cosmetic chemist. I don't know what it is in there that's doing it, but that feels terrible. Oh my gosh, it's still, yikes. If you are wanting that kind of product, you guys, the Stila one is so good. I've loved that for years. I've repurchased it. I've never had a burning sensation. My favorite shade is Wanderlust because it goes with everything. It is so beautiful. I would stay away from that. Okay, let me just kind of make my eyes even again. Okay, I ended up throwing on some eyeliner. I did the Kosas Soul Gazer and then the L'Oreal Infallible Grip liquid liner on top. And then I did end up tapping on the e.l.f. Single Shadow in Finest Fleck, or I'm sorry, the shade is White Hot. This is their Finest Fleck glitter eyeshadow. I like it. I feel like it's a really good topper. Let me say this. I think it's a pretty good topper. Sometimes I do think you need to kind of like get off that top layer of this every so often, but it's truly just a topper though. I feel like if you're trying to use it as a full-blown like shimmery shadow with some pigment, you're gonna be very disappointed. But for a topper, okay, 2 mascaras to try. I don't know which one to pick. So we've got one from L'Oreal, one from Maybelline. I'm leaning the L'Oreal one. Obviously, I will try the Maybelline one soon. We are currently doing Vlogmas on my husband's channel. So that's where we vlog all December long. And we are well underway. So definitely check it out. I will link our Vlogmas for this year playlist. You can watch from the beginning if you want. I will probably try this out in one of those. So you actually may end up seeing this before you ever see this video, depending on when I upload it. So anyway, definitely check that out. So this is what the packaging looks like. Oh, very thin wand there. Okay. I don't know. This is maybe like 1 coat. The packaging made me laugh. The wording of, where is it? It said, lashes look up to 5 millimeters closer to brows. I don't know why that wording was so funny to me, but I expected to say 5 millimeters longer, 5 millimeters closer to your brows. What? I understand what you're saying, but it just is such a weird thing to say. Okay, so that's 2 coats. Definitely adding volume and a little bit of length for sure. So this is saying removes easily with soap and water. So, and flake resistant, smudge resistant. So I think this is meant to be a tubing mascara. I don't know. Again, I will put below how this ends up coming off at the end of the day. But the way they're describing it, it's sounding like it's a tubing mascara, which of course those have become, or like a lot of them are calling them washable mascaras. Like those are becoming pretty popular the past few years, really. And I'm pretty picky. I actually do like some tubing mascaras, but not all of them are created the same. I feel like they're a little bit clumpy-ish. I don't hate the look though. I mean, I do think it ends up making it look more volumized, especially from a distance, you know what I mean? But I kind of want to brush through my little lash comb. Do I have that here? Okay, I'm just gonna use this. Okay, I'm gonna keep playing with it. I feel like it's a little bit of a more wet formula. And while I like the completed look, I have a strong suspicion I will like this a little bit more in like a week and a half. And I will say, first impressions on this, I do like the end look. I've been trying a few recently that I'm like 2 weeks in and I still can't get it to, I end up having to layer in another mascara. So this, I don't feel the need to like fix with another mascara. So that's a good sign. I will keep you posted on that and on the Maybelline Body Mascara. All right, I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild pink powder on my under eye. We're gonna do a little bit of bronzer and blush. We got some new things to try. I only like to do the pink powder when I know I'm gonna wear a blush with it, because I think if I were just doing that, I don't love that look. but once you add a blush, I feel like it all blends so nicely together. It looks really cool. So the blush I have, well, let's start with the bronzer. This is the Morphe Sudden Heat Bronzing Stick. Well, that makes me think of Wicked. Sudden Heat. Again, I'm loving the Morphe rebrand. Trying to decide, I think what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna get some on my brush maybe. It's looking good. Definitely a little bit warmer, which, I mean, that's how bronzers are. I love when I get one though that pulls a little bit neutral, not too gray like a true contour, but like just a little bit neutral. I feel like with my skin it looks better, but this is looking nice. So let me try maybe actually drawing it on and then blending it. See how it blends that way. It blended pretty well. Now let's try, I'm gonna put it on my hand and then tap it onto that. Doesn't always work the best. Depends on like how creamy the formula is. This one is definitely creamy, but it's not super slidey creamy. And sometimes the super slidey creamy bronzers don't set down well. So I feel like this one's actually gonna stay in place pretty well. I do feel like I want a little bit more. It's hard with, I've got both outside lighting and a little bit of like indoor lighting. So it's hard to kind of get it right where you guys can see it too. I feel like that was generally pretty easy to work with. It wasn't super finicky or anything like that. And it wasn't too creamy where you can't kind of get it where you want it. Now, let us also try this blush. I am so curious. This is the Maybelline Cloudtopia. It's their cheek and lip mousse. Boy, this is a lot like, oh, that's looking real bright. They're like Dreamy Mousse matte things they used to have. This shade is Dreamy Dawn. Yeah, it's definitely like a squishy, moussey texture. I don't know how well that's coming across. How do we best apply this? I don't know that this tone is gonna be something I love on myself. We're about to find out. Okay, I have this cream. It's like It Cosmetics, their cream blush brush. We're gonna try that. Let's kind of stipple it on. See, I feel like that's already too much. Oh my. This is definitely the kind of cream blush though that's going to dry down, so it's probably gonna stay in place really well. Okay, actually for winter, not hating this tone at all. All right, now I know I just need a little bit. Okay, that might have been too little. And now that's too much. It's kind of like a great winter pink color. I have to say I'm pleasantly surprised. I figured I might like the formula, but I'm pleasantly surprised that I actually like the shade, because the swatches, I feel like when I picked this one out, looked different, but I'm digging that. Okay, this is exciting. Now I have a couple of lip things I want to mess around with. I just want to put this on. This is the NYX, like that smushy stuff. What is it called? Their Smushy Matte Balm. I'm just kind of curious. Seen a lot of people, let me wipe this off. A lot of people loving this. Oh, it smells so good. Oh my gosh, it really is matte. What? I gotta swatch this. What a peculiar formula. Okay, let me show you. I mean, obviously that's a ton. I just squeezed out way too much, but look at this. It really does like mattify. It's so interesting. I don't know how to feel about this. It's cool. I'm gonna put a little bit more on. It smells so good. This is the most interesting lip product I have ever tried. I can't say I have tried anything like this ever, but I like it. Like, so the color I have is Snuggle Season, Snuggle Season, S-Z-N. I'm pretty jazzed about this. I could see this just being in my purse, and it looks like I'm wearing a lipstick, but it is so comfy like a balm. Wild. Wild. Okay, I'm gonna wipe it off though, because we have got to try these lipsticks from Maybelline. So I think I have 2 of the satin and 1 of the matte. So I have got, I hate that they don't put the actual name of this lipstick. We have 101 and 106 of the satin and 003 of the matte. So the matte ones have this packaging, and then these are the satin ones here. So let's swatch them, get an idea of what we're working with. Ooh. That's the matte one in number 3. It's called Open Late. That is 101 in the satin formula. It's called Upstate. Definitely has a little more of a satin finish. And then this one is 106 in the satin. It's called Maybe It's Soft. Let's just try them all on. Okay, we'll start with 106. Definitely more moisturizing. Okay. Smells just like a MAC lipstick. Oh my gosh, like that slight soft vanilla. Wow. So there is that one. No lip line or anything. Very nice. I feel like everyday color. Very wearable for what I typically like on myself. Are y'all still there? I have been really just enjoying doing these makeup-y videos lately. So you may have noticed I've done a few more than usual lately. All right, this is the one in 101 Upstate. Also satin. Definitely a little browner than I would typically go with my complexion, like the tone. But I don't hate it either, but I don't know that this is one that I would probably reach for very often. So if you tend to like similar lipstick tones that I like, this might not be the color for you, but I'm loving how comfortable this formula is. Let's try the matte. Number 3, Open Late. Ooh, so it's more of like a berry, I would say. Certainly. I feel like it's coming across maybe a little red on camera, but it really is more of a berry. A little bit pinky. I would definitely want to wear this, I feel like, with the lip liner. That would really clean it up a little bit more. I don't think this is going to be the kind of matte lipstick that makes your lips look super not lined. I mean, that's kind of hard to find, although I have to say this matte lip balm, I feel like kind of erased some of the lines on my lips. But I feel like that's true for most matte lips, so I don't think that that's, you know, specific to this one. And I love this light vanilla scent. Like if you found a color in any of these that you loved, highly recommend. Really enjoying this. So I want to try one last thing. This is the CoverGirl Outlast Lip Stain. So I'm going to take this off. Clean up the makeup around the edges from like wiping it off over and over again. Realizing I haven't put like a powder or anything on. But honestly, I feel like with that Lumi Glow, whatever, it's got that glow to it, but I haven't felt like I needed to powder my skin, which is interesting. So this is the CoverGirl Outlast Lip Stain. I got this in the shade Canyon. This I have seen everywhere, and it's kind of like a marker. Ooh, I don't know about this color. It's kind of like a marker, but it's a stain. I am so curious to try it. I'm really hoping I like the color. Boy, does that stain the hand. Oh gosh. Oh, I hope I like this color. Here we go. I don't know. I can see where people, like why people might take a product like this and use it as their lip liner, because then it stays in place for a long time. Even once maybe even the lipstick is worn, your lip liner is still there because it's a stain. This would be the perfect product for that if you found a shade you loved. Gosh. Okay, it's definitely not looking even at all. At all. So I'm kind of, I mean, I'm gonna try to wipe it off. I know that it'll still be stained behind, but that's okay. Kind of curious, maybe it'll look better that way, or it won't. It is definitely stained. I mean, a little bit came off, obviously, and I do think it actually looks a little better with it wiped off a bit. But I have to say, I don't think that color is one I love, although now that it's wiped off, it doesn't look bad. But I would still buy this again in another color, and if you've tried this and you know one that you love, you think I would, please let me know in a comment, because I feel like I would 1000% use this as a lip liner for my everyday lip. And then it would just kind of look nice, but then I put the lipstick on top so then it looks a little more even. I think it's a genius product in that respect, but I think if you're wanting to use it all over, I don't know, and maybe it's just this color, but it was hard to get it to look even. But I do think it looks nice now that it's worn off, which in theory is kind of what you're looking for. So there are my thoughts on that. Let's put one of those lipsticks back on top. Let's do 106. That was the one I tried first, right? That looks nice on top of that. So comfy, I just love it. Ooh! Can't get over that smell. Okay, so there we go. Let's kind of go through my top picks purely based on first impressions, okay? Take it with a grain of salt. Like I said, I will have wear notes below with more detail on how this ended up wearing and if I changed my mind later in the day or after I've used it a couple days, because I pre-film, you know, with some days to spare. So I really like the finish of this foundation, and I can't decide if it's just the foundation or if it's the combo of the luminous primer underneath, but I do think these paired really well together, and it's not overly glowy, which was my fear with this glowy product and then a Plump and Glow foundation. I don't think this foundation is wildly glowy itself, but it does have a nice, I think, life to it that I actually really, really like on my skin. I still am not convinced on the shades. I'm kind of thinking it's looking a little light. Perhaps I'll try 112 alone next time instead of mixing it, because I do feel like my skin looks a little bit lighter than this. So anyway, that's my own thing. The concealer I feel like looked really nice. I'll keep playing with it. And I'm really a fan of these lipsticks. The formula I feel like is really comfortable. I think the key is just finding the color and finish that you personally would like. And I was very pleasantly surprised by this Cloudtopia blush. I think a little bit goes a long way. You want to find your favorite way to apply it, but I would bet this is not going to move very much, and it's kind of giving that like wintry pink look that I think I've been chasing with other blushes that I hadn't quite found yet. So very pretty. The Peachy, the Squishy Glaze Lip Balm, totally recommend. I really enjoyed. Oh, good. Okay. No, it doesn't feel crunchy, but my brows are staying in place. You know, like when you're changing your shirt or something and your brows get all messed up, I feel like my brows are actually going to stay, and that's huge. Very excited about that. The mascara I also liked. I mean, it is definitely holding that curl, and it definitely added some volume, some length. I think you just have to be careful with reapplying it because I do think it kind of dries, and that's why it got a little clumpy when I tried to keep reapplying it. And you already know that this NYX Smushy Matte Lip Balm absolutely blew my mind today. I mean, I was speechless, okay? So I will keep you posted on everything else. And then this product here, the Maybelline kind of glitter eye tint, whatever. Didn't love the formula, but then it also burned. So I would say generally probably should stay away. Let me know. Have you tried that and it didn't burn your eyes, or you've had a great experience? Let us know, but yikes. I hope that you enjoyed this fun, affordable haul, sharing some new makeup launches with you guys. If you are into my vlogs and you've been missing them here in the month of December, previously I do them every single week, and in 2026, I will be back to doing them every single week, but we do them, like I said, in our Vlogmas series, which is on a different channel. So I will link that down below if you want to check it out, see if it's your vibe. I think you will. If you like my vlogs, you will love Vlogmas. It's just my vlogs, but even more of them. And I definitely talk makeup stuff in there too. So we'd love to have you join over there. If you are new to my channel and this was the first video of mine you clicked on, I'm so glad you're here. My name is Jessica. I hope you'll subscribe. Check out some more of my videos. If you were into this video, I will link this one below. I think you would like to watch this one next. It's another recent affordable makeup video where I decluttered some. I shared some favorites I found very recently and some that just weren't very good. You should maybe avoid. Anyway, thanks for watching all the way to the end, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, friends.